today we are going to make stovetop asparagus, and actually I call it Parmesan garlic asparagus. You will obviously need asparagus, a frying pan, preferably with a lid. You're going to need a quarter cup of butter, which is half of a stick, so I just have it here. Garlic, olive oil. There's multiple different kinds, choose whatever you prefer. Black pepper, I prefer the coarse ground black pepper, and of course salt, and I use sea salt. That's pretty much your entire recipe right here. It makes it very simple. The first thing you're going to do is take your asparagus, which you probably bought from the store, unless you're lucky enough to be at the right time of year. And I cut off right about an inch of the bottom because they've been sitting in the store, sometimes not in the best of stuff. So this is really very simple. You just cut that off, and then once it's cut, I very quickly rinse them off and get them ready. Those are now ready to go. Now in your frying pan, you take the butter, you cut a half a stick and throw it in the pan. You can start the pan at about medium heat because you don't want the butter or anything to scorch. Quarter stick of butter, very simple. And I'll just take the rest of it and stick it in my butter jar there so that it's ready for other items. Once the butter melts, which takes a very short period of time, usually about 30 seconds, butter melts very quickly. You can actually add the oil now. You just want a light coating on the bottom of the pan. Basically what that is going to do is hopefully keep everything from scorching and sticking to the pan. Now this is one of those green pans, which is a ceramic pan, ceramic coating. It's not a high quality one, but it's pretty good for home use. As you can see, it says green pan right on it. I don't even bother with utensils on this. This is, except for of course the knife to cut the asparagus, and you'll see why shortly. Okay, it's about 3/4 of the way melted. I add my garlic. Now I like garlic, so I put a good squeezed dollop in there. Needless to say, fresh garlic is even better, but if you're like most people, you just don't have the time. You can use garlic powder. The nice thing about the fresh garlic is the fresh garlic, when it's cooked, will stick to the asparagus spears, which of course is very tasty. And this is another reason why I don't bother with utensils. When you have a good pan and a good stove. Alright folks, sorry about this. We have a slight video glitch. Don't go away. It's only a 15-second long video glitch. I accidentally pushed the wrong button while I was cooking for you. So in 5 seconds, we're right back to it. Thanks for your patience. Alright, unfortunately, my camera shut off before I finished the last episode. Basically, now I'm going to show you why you don't need utensils. All you have to do, instead of flipping them, is what they tell you to do, is flip them. I swirl them. By swirling them, it mixes everything around. It also rolls the asparagus, which is great. As you can see, everything looks wonderful. Now everything is cooking. You don't want to take the lid off too many times. That's the other reason why I just swirl. When you take the lid off, you take the steam out of the pan. And asparagus is better steamed. Never boil asparagus unless you want mush. This is one of the better ways to do it. Now, we're getting to the point. It's been cooking for roughly 4 minutes, so it's about 1/3 of the way done. At this point, I like to add my salt and pepper. So I just sprinkle it in there liberally. Since it's sea salt, you don't have to get carried away. And again, I like the coarse ground pepper because when you do it, you can see it. Not only that, it has a little better flavor, in my opinion, than the standard stuff you get in a little tin. Now, I'm assuming you can see that through the lid. I can, so I like the way that looks. It's absolutely delicious. So at this point, we are almost halfway done. Asparagus cooks relatively quickly, so I will come back in a few minutes and restart the video. Okay, we're about 2/3 of the way done cooking. Now that the lid is kind of moistured up, it's kind of hard to see. One of my other pans has a lid that has a vent hole in it, which keeps the glass clear, which is nice. The problem is it's a slightly different size pan, so I couldn't switch, and it's the old-fashioned like Tefal, or what do they call it, Teflon coated, and those don't work as good. The ceramic is so much better. I am also looking into the copper pans. I've known a few people have tried them and they're swearing by them, so pretty soon I'll switch over to that. And by the way, if you have a suggestion or something that you would like me to try cooking, I will do a video for that. Just comment, and we'll get to that as soon as we can. I will warn you, I do not eat seafood. It's not that I can't cook it. I used to be a chef in a restaurant, so I can cook seafood, but since I don't eat it, it's kind of a waste. So if you avoid seafood, make comments and I will do my best to create something for you. All right, now we're going to take the lid off to see how it looks. Oh yeah, see, it's getting nice and soft now. That's what you want. Not quite there, but it's really, really close. I'm going to say maybe 2 more minutes, and that's going to... Of course, it's all up to you. I like my asparagus to be really soft, but not soggy. It's hard to explain. When you boil them, they become soggy and mushy. When you cook them this way, even though they become soft, they're still full of flavor. There's no mush to it. They're just soft. You still bite them. I actually put a whole spear in my mouth at one time. I just love the taste of it. So you notice I now have my Parmesan cheese. What we're going to do in about 60 more seconds is turn the heat off in the pan, but we're going to leave the pan on the burner because the burner will maintain heat for a while. And we're going to sprinkle the Parmesan cheese right on top, put the lid on it, and shut everything down. And in 2 minutes, it's ready to serve. So it looks like it's about there. I'm going to stir it one more time. Oh, that looks very good. We'll open up the Parmesan cheese. You can, of course, use powdered if you want. I prefer the shredded. You can also shred your own. Obviously, that's the best and the freshest. See, that looks excellent. So we're going to turn the heat off. We're going to sprinkle Parmesan cheese right on top. It doesn't take much. See, that's all you need, right like that. Okay, put the lid back on it. Remember, the heat is off. And now that the heat's off, you'll actually be able to watch. You see it's still bubbling because of the heat, even though the burners are off. But it's slowing down, and you can watch the Parmesan is actually starting to melt. Look at that. See? About 2 minutes is all it takes. Actually, in this case, it looks like it's going to take about a minute. And at this point, it's ready to serve. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you've been to our page before. If not, please like and subscribe and pass this on to other people. We have a whole bunch of things we're doing, and this is our first video for food. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Funguy the Entertainer, cooking for you.